Hi, this is Dennis. I've been called out by Ben Ochart from his cichlid group, Ben O Cichlid on Facebook. It's an awesome group that I belong to. I'd highly recommend that you check it out. And he asked me to respond to 10 questions on the Tuber Challenge. The first question is, what got you into fish keeping? Actually, getting into fish keeping happened indirectly by uh, through my father. He started me out fishing at a pretty early age, around 8, 9 years old. He took me on my first fishing trip up north in northern Wisconsin, and he broke me in by catching big fish, big largemouth bass and northern pike, and I just became hooked right away. And through the years, I progressed into more fishing and bass tournaments, and started fishing streams up in Wisconsin for steelhead trout, and just was always very fascinated by aquatic life. And one day in the early 1980s, I went into a local fish store and picking up some dog food, and was just real fascinated by the fish tanks that were in the store. Started walking through the aisles, and thought it would be really neat to own my own. And the store owner took a lot of time to explain to me what it would take to get set up, and I bought a 20-gallon high fish tank and started my way with tetras and so on, and it just kind of graduated from there. Eventually, I got into a 125 and got into South Americans because I was just absolutely fascinated by real mean, aggressive fish, I guess you can call it. Red devils, Texas jaguars, Dobie eyes. They just fascinated me. And from there, it got into African cichlids, which is where I'm at right now with my 220 and my 100-gallon tank. Um, what is your favorite fish? My favorite fish is probably a lot of fish in the hap genus, the Nimichromis, especially the Fuscos, Livingstoni, Venustus, or anything new that I pick up seems to catch my attention. Phocochromis stratus, Rostratus. I got a starfire or star sapphire coming in. As soon as our weather calms down out here in Illinois, it's been really cold and we've had a lot of snow, and the breeder is real reluctant to ship out here to Illinois right now until the temperatures moderate. Okay, number 3, what is your least favorite fish? Probably my least favorite fish is, like Ben Ochart, is goldfish. I just don't really care for them. Don't like them, don't care for them. Don't knock them. I mean, there's a place for them in every ecosystem, but it's just not something that I care to ever keep in any of my aquariums. Number 4, what type of filtration do you use? Underneath my stand, I have a 37-gallon Precision Marine sump system with a 1600 gallon per hour pump, and I also have a FX6 alongside my aquarium, so I have 2 filters. I would never go back to anything other than a sump, and I would probably never use any other canister filter than an FX6. Number 5, what type of lighting do you use? I use the current lighting, LEDs. I use 2 36-inch, the multicolor with the remote LEDs. so I don't have any dead spots in my aquarium. And on my 100 gallon, I use two 30-inch Fluvels LEDs with the remote for that aquarium. As far as my number 6's favorite type of tank setup, I really like to let the fish do a lot of the escaping of the tank. I like to let them do the work. I have very little decoration, as you can see in my aquarium, just a few rocks, a couple of plants. Probably the one thing I really regret not doing is putting a 3D background on. I was very impatient when I set up my aquarium, a little bit low on funds, and didn't wait to put a 3D background in like I would like to have now. That's pretty much my only regret. What is your dream tank? Within reason, my dream tank might be something that's just a couple of feet longer than the one I have, maybe 30-inch deep instead of 25 inches deep. 8 foot long, maybe 10 foot long. If I had to pick a second choice, it might be a 10-foot tank with one Dovii or maybe a Dovii pair in there, since that's the only thing you can put in with those guys. They are just one mean fish if you've ever seen them before. Number 8, what food do you use? I use exclusively Northfin food. I use the cichlid formula and the jumbo formula, the 2mm to 3mm and the 4 jumbo. I've experimented with the 6 jumbo, but it seems to be still a little bit too big, even for 8 and 9-inch fish. Seem to have a little bit of trouble, since pelleted food is known to expand when it comes in contact with water. What is your dream fish? Probably going back to the earlier question, would be just a tank full of big haps, or the Dovii in a tank all by itself. Okay, and last, who would I like to nominate for the Tuber Challenge? I'd like to nominate Gustavio Macias and John Meyer from our Benno Cichlid group. So get your YouTuber questions ready and be ready to respond, and I challenge you. We look forward to seeing you. Thanks.